right, what's up, wrestling fans? You may notice new logo, new podcast name, new intro, new everything. We are no longer
Knew all of it.
new everything. Just basically starting over. No longer the scoop on the slams. We are now roll up for the win because we all love a good roll up for a 1-2-3.
Because it happens all the time.
Yep. Figure why not? Anyways, it's Road to WrestleMania. Sure doesn't feel like it, but it is.
It is.
Yep.
We're almost there. We're less than 2 weeks away.
Does it feel like we're 2 weeks away from Mania? Do you remember when we were kids? Do you remember the lead up to I mean, this was a special year. This was the peak of the Attitude Era, but the lead up to WrestleMania 17, Rock versus Stone Cold. Oh my God. It was like 21 more days, 17 more days. It was like waiting for Christmas. You remember?
Yeah. No, that's the way that it's felt in years past. I mean, there's been like this huge build, and hopefully we can get back to that once we're getting fans in the stadium on a regular basis. I was reading today that something for night one, they're going to potentially forego a pre-show match.
Okay. So there's not going to be any pre-show matches.
For night one. Night two may be a different story. But apparently they want to make the first entrance in front of people a huge deal.
I hope so.
They've got Super Bowl numbers in mind. 25,000 people will be in the stadium. They can make some noise.
For sure. Do you think that first entrance will be like the host of the show or something like that? Or you think it's going to be like an actual match? You think maybe The Rock makes an appearance?
They're going to give that to Hulk Hogan? I don't know. That's a bad idea. Although he's a hometown boy. So,
yeah, he does live in Tampa.
Lives in Tampa. But then it's going to be immediately spoiled right after, because then Titus O'Neil is the co-host. His music's going to hit?
Yeah. I don't know. It's got to be, you got to have like...
Unless Titus O'Neil's coming up in the red and yellow and he's going to dress just like Hulk Hogan, they're going to come out together to the music.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Because Titus O'Neil's a monster of a man. He like dwarfs Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm. As far as height, yeah, he dwarfs him. Yeah, so I think... Man, I hope that first pop is like for Austin or The Rock or somebody making an appearance, like just to kick off the show and welcome the fans back.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Hell, it could be Triple H and I'd lose it.
Yeah. Vince,
Vinnie Mac. Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah. Yeah, so what else? So
as long as it's not Shane McMahon.
Don't get me started. So the match card has pretty much been thrown together in the last week or so. There's maybe 3 or 4 matches tops that I'm very excited about that I think have been built properly. Really, the main event, the triple threat match, does not need much build. It's just with the guys in it.
No.
Tribal Chief, Edge, Daniel Bryan inserted himself in it, which normally I would be upset with it, but it's like, okay, he does deserve one more WrestleMania main event before he retires.
And we were talking about this before. They all have Edge, the most recent, but they all have a comeback story.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it. I think they should lean on that more. They should have been leaning on it this whole time. But you got two more SmackDowns to do it.
Yeah. It's most likely ending the show, but would you end the show, like if you were doing the card, would you end the show with them or would you end the show with Sasha and Bianca?
Hard to say. If you want to send the fans happy, it really depends on who's winning that main event.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think that Bianca Belair is going to go over Sasha Banks.
I believe so too.
That is a feel-good moment to send the fans home with. Do I think they've done a proper build to warrant it being the main event? No.
I agree.
The whole thing with Reginald and all this nonsense that they've done and just dragged it out. And they involved Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler because that's what we needed to do. And then we recycled that same exact storyline that we did 3 weeks ago with those two, and we used it on Raw last night. Why?
Yeah, I don't understand. Do you remember back in WrestleMania 01, 17?
You remember when tag teams meant something?
Yeah, well, I remember when a lot of things meant something. But when Austin was going up against The Rock in their rematch, the story was built in, but Vince had to throw in the added wrinkle of, oh, you'll be like The Rock will be managed by Deborah, Stone Cold's wife.
Oh yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, but that was dumb, which ended up not happening because I don't remember her ringside for that match.
No, it was like they scrapped it. They just hoped that, you know, the Men in Black flashy thing you and.
I mean, but
no, we never said that.
I mean, but the build's so big, you kind of forget that that was a thing in the storyline.
Oh yeah, and, you know, you tend to forget crappy moments unless if they're really, really, really crappy.
Unless it just ruined it. Yeah.
Yeah, if it had ruined it, we would have remembered it.
Mm-hmm. I will say this: Sasha and Bianca are on night 1, and Roman, DB, and Edge are on night 2. So Sasha and Bianca probably end night 1, which would be cool.
I guess, because again, I guess out of those two, that would be the way to go for the main event. Because I feel meh about Bobby Lashley and McIntyre, that whole thing.
Yeah. If anything, that should kick off the show, to be honest with you. Like, just get that, you know, when the crowd is energized at the beginning.
And you start right with McIntyre gets that honor, the first pop of the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With Vinnie Mac's sword.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, because Braun Strowman, honestly, Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon should be the bathroom break match before
they should
Sasha and Bianca.
Since they're going to forego a pre-show thing, yeah, I guess. Because that's a pre-show match, but whatever. It's not, because it's a McMahon, and it's now in a steel cage. So I still am holding out hope for Kevin Owens jumping off the ship. Because now we know that Shane O'Mac is stuck in the ring, in the cage.
Right. He wanted to do it last year, so he's probably doing it this year.
He wanted to, and then he wasn't sure because Shane McMahon threw himself in a match. So he was like, I don't even care. I just want a match.
Right.
So now, you know, he got a match. It's with Sami Zayn. They're going to beat the tar out of each other. And that's going to be great. And if he gets to do the spot that he jumps off the pirate ship in the end zone, I'm all for it.
Oh, yeah. That, I think, needs to be the first match of night 2. Owens versus
I hope so.
Kick off the show, like start it with a bang. But yeah,
yep.
I got the whole card right here. If you want, let's jump into what we think is going to happen.
All right.
Let's go with our predictions. Yeah, night number 1 on April 10th, Saturday, April 10th. We've got, now it's not necessarily in this order, but this is how they have it listed. Sasha versus Bianca. You already said you have Sasha going over, or Bianca going over.
Bianca Belair goes over. I think we are in agreement with this.
And takes the women's title. I agree with that. I think Bianca does and should win the title. She's got all the momentum right now. I don't think you waste it. By the way, that slap on SmackDown when Sasha's rings went flying, the boss rings, that was pretty great.
Yeah, it was great.
That was fantastic.
No, she's got you're right. She's got the momentum. The time's right. Just
don't ruin it. Please don't ruin it. Do not do what you did to Shayna Baszler last year. Do not do what you did to Rhea Ripley last year.
Yeah, and honestly, those two being the last two people in the Royal Rumble, and I think that if they get to leave WrestleMania champions, dope.
I would love it. That's them undoing their mistake from last year, I think.
That would be undoing the mistake, and then I get Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at Night of Champions.
Mm-hmm. That would be sick.
Or Survivor Series. I don't care. Drag it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love that. All right. So that's Sasha and Bianca. We have Bianca going over. Now, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. This is an interesting one. Now, their story hasn't been the best, but I honestly don't know who's going to win this. What about you?
I don't know, but I'm leaning toward Bobby keeping it. I think that he's the hotter hand right now.
Mm-hmm.
You just gave it to him. I think it does nothing for McIntyre if he wins it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it boosts his credentials any, other than he gets to win in front of fans, which he was robbed of last year.
Mm-hmm.
But, the timing was right for him to win last year, and I think Lashley has rightfully earned his spot, and he's being the character that we wanted him to be from day one when he came back from Impact, which was just this monster.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who's going to tear him down. Maybe it's Keith Lee later.
One can hope. So yeah, I kind of lean towards Bobby Lashley too for the same reason you're saying. We know how Vinnie Mac feels about him and has always felt about him. And I think he's got the idea of the possible dream match between him and Lesnar on his mind.
Oh, that's true too. If Vinnie Mac can swing that, yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's.
We know that Brock Lesnar is going to do whatever Brock Lesnar wants to do, but at the end of the day, I don't even care if that happens at a Saudi show. I just want it to happen.
Yeah, that might be one of the first Saudi shows I tune into. Yeah. I may like no lie. Lashley versus Lesnar, that intrigues me. So
as it should.
Yeah. So we got Bobby going over there.
They can legit beat each other up.
Oh, absolutely. So next match on the card is the Bad Bunny match. It's to be determined if Damian Priest and John Morrison will be joining them and making it a tag match. But for now, it's Bad Bunny versus The Miz.
Yep. And I obviously have Bad Bunny going over.
Yep.
They've made The Miz a joke.
They have, but it's like, here's your consolation prize. You're champion for 12 hours or whatever it was.
Yeah, they let him have it for a week, right?
Was it a week? Was it that long?
Yeah, because I don't think
like the next night.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. So,
either way.
Yeah.
No, I think he had it for 7 days or 8 days.
Okay. All right. So Miz got to be champion again, but he's going to be made a fool of. He's going to take that celebrity bullet that someone has to take every year. So yeah, I agree. I think Bad Bunny somehow via shenanigans, of course, he doesn't just straight up get off.
It's gotta be via shenanigans.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
The Miz is gonna get laid out by Damian Priest. That's what's really gonna happen.
Most likely. But you know what? The Miz is rich and has a gorgeous wife, and I don't feel bad for him anymore.
No, I don't feel bad for him. He has that show. He's got another show. He's got like 3 shows.
The company takes care of him in other ways.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, I don't think he can complain.
No. So next up, we got the New Day against AJ Styles and Omos. Now, first of all, before we go into the prediction, it sucks that AJ has fallen down the card like this, just to boost Omos. But yeah, Omos, whatever. Anyway, this is the match that's happening, unfortunately. But who do you have going over in this match for the Raw Tag Team titles?
I'd say give it to AJ. The New Day doesn't need to have it.
No, and I agree.
AJ's always better when he's got a championship and he can just be an asshole about it.
Right, and I think that's where it's going. I think I agree with you.
And you're not strapping a rocket to Omos, but you're pairing him with one of the best in the business. And who better to learn from, honestly?
Yeah. No. That pairing happened for a reason. That's by design. I think they have big plans for him. So AJ and
No
Omos,
pun intended. He's humongous.
yeah, AJ and Omos, almost whatever, go over. Next match on night one, the second to last, is Braun Strowman and Shane O'Mac for
Shane O'Mac.
for nothing really. It's going to be in a steel cage match. For what reason? I have no idea. I don't know why this is happening.
There's no point. There's no. It's clearly this entire storyline has been written for children because the entire storyline centralizes around Shane McMahon, who is a dwarf of a man compared to Braun Strowman, is bullying him by just calling him dumb. Braun Strowman can rip his arms off and beat him silly with them, but somehow this is speaking to children that even, the big guy can get bullied, even though that's not the case 9 times out of 10, whatever. It's silly, it's ludicrous. Braun obviously goes over because he's gonna chuck him from the top of the cage or something.
Yeah. I hope that's what happens because that's the one good thing about these Shane O'Mac matches. He does some sort of stunt trying to kill himself and damn near succeeds. And yeah, he's
you think the only thing that I can think of, because if you leave the cage, you win. So does he try? Here's my guess. Does he try to hit a coast to coast from the top of the cage to the other side?
He'll break himself in half if he does. That's quite a drop from the other corner.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he can pull it off. I'm just saying, does he attempt it?
He's going to attempt something crazy and stupid. But yeah, I have Braun Strowman going over ultimately, but Shane McMahon gets in 90% of the offense, as he always does.
It would, what would be great? That the crazy spot actually goes to Braun. That would be great.
Oh, if Braun did a coast to coast off the top rope?
If he did a coast to coast, or if he went to do like this crazy move off the top of the cage and Braun actually just catches him, and just running power slam, you're done.
There's the finish. I would love it. Which means it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah. So
I'm no Vince Russo, I guess.
Yeah. 6th and 5. Oh no, then it would be like a something on a pole match.
Yeah, we'd have Braun Strowman's 5th grade report card on a pole match.
Yeah. So the final match listed for night 1 on Wikipedia is Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Now,
that is not going to be the main event, but oh boy, Cesaro better win that one.
He better. Now, if you just look at the two talents in the match, yeah, this is a dream match the fans have probably been wanting to happen for a while.
I'm going to go as far as saying that's match of the night.
It could be. It could very well be.
That's how talented those two gentlemen are.
Yeah, it's sad that it's not for a title or anything like that, or they didn't properly build it. Essentially, the match was made when he decided to throw him to the ground and swing him backstage.
No, it was weeks before when he swung him 27 times.
That planted the seed, but this series of swinging cemented it. Okay, this is the match for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. But Seth Rollins has been obsessing about this 27 swings that he's been swung more than any other superstar in history of that move, and he's been obsessing over it, and he's ridiculous, and I love it.
Yeah, ridiculous Seth Rollins might be my favorite. So that could steal the show, night 1. They better give him a solid half hour of just have fun, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So that's night 1.
And tell Cesaro to count. Make sure that it's 28 swings this time.
Yeah, so that's night 1. Night 2, on April 11th. The first match listed is, of course, what we think is going to be the main event. Roman Reigns. Actually, you know what? I'll start from the beginning. I'll start from match 6, which I think this should probably kick off night 2, honestly. Riddle as United States champion versus Sheamus.
Righteous. Okay.
Let's start with that. So who do you think goes over?
Riddle keeps it.
I agree. I think Riddle keeps it. There's no reason to put. Although Sheamus did build up some momentum for himself, and it's a shame he didn't find himself in the world title match.
You know what? Given what there was some light shed on this recently. I'm going to take that back. I think Sheamus wins the match because originally Keith Lee was supposed to win the thing.
Keith Lee was supposed to take it from Riddle.
No, Keith Lee was supposed to pin Riddle so that way Bobby didn't lose the title.
Okay, gotcha.
So Keith Lee was supposed to originally win that triple threat that didn't happen due to his health issues. He was supposed to pin Riddle. So I don't know if the rivalry is supposed to be going into WrestleMania between Lee and Riddle, like if that was going to be some sort of heel turn for Lee or what the deal was going to be. But the apparently end goal was Keith Lee with the title. So if the way that you want to go, Keith Lee is coming back as a face, presumably. Him going up against Sheamus, they already have history. Do it.
Yeah. Okay. So
if that's the way that they want to go, Sheamus can pick up the win. Does Riddle need the belt? I don't think so.
No, I don't think he does either. And I know Vince loves Sheamus, and yeah, I see him. I definitely see him winning. Now, you know what? I take back my previous statement about kicking off the night. I still think Sammy versus KO should kick off the night because that's next on the card. Sammy versus KO. Obviously, I think KO. Well, actually, he may not. What do you think? Who do you think wins? And how?
I love these two so much that I don't care who wins as long as I get my crazy spot off the pirate ship.
Likewise.
I don't care. Because if Sami Zayn finally gets a win and he proves that the conspiracy is over, fantastic.
Yeah, that should be fun. That's going to be a really fun match. I hope they don't do like...
And if he gets a WWE like 24 or documentary and it's all about the conspiracy, like WWE 24, the Sami Zayn conspiracy.
That would be awesome. Okay, next. Big E as Intercontinental Champion versus Apollo Crews. Another match I'm not mad at the matchup, the talent in the match. And they've been kind of
build and what they've done. Oh boy.
Meh, it's been kind of up and down. They started planting the seeds a couple months ago, and
I know.
It started good.
It started good. This character change for Apollo Crews, it's doing nothing for me though. He hasn't had an accent this entire time, and now all of a sudden he's Black Panther. What gives?
Yeah, I
can't go from like the goody two shoes to be like Wakanda forever, but I'm evil.
Yeah, I don't get the whole let's slip this obvious thing in that everyone's going to notice and pretend no one notices.
The Nigerian accent?
Yeah. Like, what are they doing?
I mean, we didn't know that Kofi Kingston wasn't Jamaican until we figured it out.
But you started with the accent.
You started with it, yeah. Just like I didn't know that, well, I did, because I had looked her up because she's hot. I knew that Lana wasn't Russian, but she started with it, so you didn't know.
Right, you weren't sure at first until you found out more about her and saw her in other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who do you have going over in that match?
Oh, it's with this 50-50 booking. They had Apollo win last week or pin him in a tag team or triple. I don't know if it was a 6-man tag or what, but I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Apollo Crews. I'm going with Apollo Crews.
I'm going with Big E. I think Big E retains. Next,
I'm going with Apollo solely because I want Big E to go to the main title picture.
Oh, me too. I would love to see that. If that's why he drops the title, I would love to see that. It better not be to drop him down the card.
Oh, I don't think. I think he's for sure, at the very least, earned his spot in the middle of the card
I would think
by
so.
far.
I would think so. They did a WWE 24 about him. He's in. He's in the club.
Yeah, he's in the club.
Now this is gonna be a fun one. The Fiend with Alexa Bliss in parentheses versus Randy Orton.
Ooh, so obviously the Fiend wins. He has to get a win here. Duh.
Revenge, of
And
course.
I was seeing some stuff being floated online that apparently Alexa Bliss is now in full control of the Fiend.
You don't say.
Like a pallbearer with the urn gets to control him type of thing, because she's got the little Jack in the Box thing.
Okay, I like it.
Because I don't know if you saw Raw yet or not, but there was she did a segment that she was in the playground, and he was totally just standing still, just staring at her, and he doesn't move until either she does or she tells him to. So I'm like, if that's what we're gonna do, because she had to bring him back to life and stuff, and now he's just Frankenstein's monster.
And if they do that, I would love to eventually see him turn on her.
I would love to see somebody attempt to steal the box from her and try to control the Fiend.
If it's like a pallbearer Undertaker kind of thing, they could stretch it out for a long time.
They can. And you know who they can throw back in there to be involved and tries to steal the box from her? Nikki Cross.
Yeah, I hope they revisit that. Because that little rivalry of her, they would have a match and she would change back to the old Alexa and during the match, that was compelling.
Fantastic. And give me more Nikki Cross.
Always. So that is the Fiend with Alexa versus Randy. We think the Fiend goes over. 2 matches left. We got 2 matches I'm excited about. Asuka versus Rhea Ripley.
Okay. That one, in my opinion, can go either way.
Okay.
I'll let you elaborate, and then I'll do my fantasy nonsense.
I think Rhea goes over because I like we said before, I forgot if we were rolling already or not, but I was telling you before, I think they want to undo their mistake from last year and make Rhea champion and make Bianca champion, because last year they had a chance to make Rhea and Sasha champion. They had a ton of momentum and they blew it. I think they want to undo that mistake. So I think Rhea is coming back. She's coming to Raw for that title. I think she gets it on her first attempt. So now tell me what you think is going to happen.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
We're on a roller coaster. Rhea wins, but at the end of the match, Charlotte Flair's music hits just to set up rivalry down the road.
Okay.
If Asuka wins, Becky Lynch's music hits because she never lost that title and gave it to her.
I like it. I would almost want to see Becky against Rhea. I want to see Becky against either one.
Who's to say that wouldn't happen later? But I'm saying that I think that gets drug out somehow. If Asuka wins, I think we've got potentially Becky Lynch return imminent. If not on WrestleMania night, Monday Night Raw, right after.
Oh, I think that's a big return coming up for post WrestleMania is Becky.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think she's more than healed up from having the baby.
Oh, she's been. I don't think she's been posting workout videos, but she's been posting photos of herself at the gym. So she's clearly working out.
Yeah. So maybe she's cleared by then. That's still weeks away. So we'll see. I would love to see her back in the ring. But yeah, her against Asuka is interesting because she gave her the title.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you can be the champion. I'm gonna go be the mom.
Right. It's like, I'm done now. I'm back.
Yeah.
Fork it over.
Fork it over, Asuka.
All right. So I like that. That's interesting.
Even even though Seth Rollins is on SmackDown, that aside, I think that's the direction to go.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they film in the same city now, so it's not an issue as far as travel.
It would be an issue come like August, because apparently that's when they're going to bring back the shows. That's the plan, tentatively.
That's still months away. They'll figure it out. They'll
Yeah.
switch one of them to another show.
Oh,
All right.
they might. For all I know, they'll switch Rollins back. Who cares?
Yeah. All right. Final match. Roman versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan. Who goes over?
That's a toughie. It is a toughie. I'm picking Roman Reigns. I think he goes over because I think the person that he eventually drops it to is Big E, who may potentially lose his title early on in the night.
Right. And then maybe you hear Big E's music hit at the end of the night.
Maybe. If you want that feel-good moment.
Yeah. And you don't necessarily have to have Big E drop the title. That, like, have Big E retain.
You want him to do like a Kevin Owens showing up with the NXT title and like showing up for the US title open challenge?
Come. He's got the US title and he's like, I want that belt. I want to be dual champ. I mean, maybe along the way you have him drop the first one to get the world title. But yeah, maybe having Big E's music hit at the end of the night would send the fans home happy. And you'd want to do it with him coming off a win. So yeah, that could be cool. Or this would be my fantasy scenario, because I know their plan is to wait until 2 years from now when they do it in LA, but he might be a little too old for this, but have the Rock's music hit at the end of the night.
Well, no, isn't LA next year?
Dallas is next year.
Oh,
LA is right. LA's 2023. They're kind of in the back of their minds saving Roman versus Rock for that. Not necessarily for a title, but they have it penciled in.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Well, I still think he wins. The child inside of me wants Edge to win, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either. Small chance, like 10% chance or so that Daniel Bryan might win, maybe 20% chance, but I think it's most likely Roman. I mean, you're doing such good ratings with him as the heel champion right now.
I honestly think it's Roman, hands down.
Yeah,
like it's not even fair, but it is one of those matches that you're like, what if?
Yeah,
which is very cool to see, and I think what we will get is a new contender for the world title or the universal, whatever the hell championship it is that Roman has after Mania, and we will get a proper match between Edge and Daniel Bryan and a singles match, because that Edge wants that.
Right. Yeah, that. Well, Edge.
So if those two end up screwing each other over, and then Roman picks up the pieces and wins, cool.
Yeah, and there's just so many dream matches you can do with Edge. The possibilities are endless. Daniel Bryan,
AJ Styles.
I know that was the plan last year. Aleister. Well, they're not doing anything with Aleister. I think Aleister's as good as gone.
I think so. I think he's gone. We've got the recent news of Andrade being released, and that I think somehow is playing a factor into potentially. I don't think they're punishing Charlotte Flair, but Charlotte Flair not having a match on WrestleMania, that doesn't sound like the WWE that we've seen in the past 3 or 4 years.
Right. Normally they just be like, "Oh, you'll be fine by then. Make it a triple threat match."
Yeah, they're just like, "Yeah, we'll just throw her in," and they haven't done so. So I don't know if she's necessarily being punished for it, which that would be really dumb.
But it's something they would do.
It is something that they've been known to do, which sucks. Yeah, I hope we see Charlotte Flair sooner rather than later. Same thing for Becky Lynch. I want them both back in my life.
But not against each other, because we've seen that 8 billion times.
No, I don't need to see that. However, if we get like a reunion of the 4 horsewomen, that would be good versus the other 4 horsewomen of MMA.
Yeah. Now, before we go, you reminded me of Andrade. What's your prediction? Do you have a quick prediction of him, what he does in AEW?
I don't know if he goes to AEW, honestly.
Well, that's true. He might not. You're right.
There's been talks of reviving Lucha Underground. So there's a interesting thing for him there. Impact's been making some waves. Although, raise your hand if you want to see Andrade versus Cero Miedo.
Either of them. Either of those two.
Rey Fenix or Penta? Yeah. Give me that match, please. Thank you.
Of those two. Or Andrade against Pac.
It's endless.
You can do a lot with him. WWE.
He's going to be. He apparently trademarked the name La Sombra, which is for whatever viewer we have that does not speak Spanish. That means the shadow, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome name.
That is pretty awesome.
I dig it, and especially if you pair him with Selena Vega.
Oh my God!
My head explodes.
You can.
I know you can.
You can pair. If Alistair leaves, you could pair them two.
You could do the trio.
You could do the 3 of them. Yes.
I'm down for that faction.
Oh, yes.
That trio.
Oh,
if the 3 of them just show up on AEW, chef's kiss. Boom.
Beautiful. Tony Khan hits yet another home run.
Yeah. They did play it smart. They released him after he would be eligible to return for Double or Nothing, or whichever one is the one in May.
Double or Nothing, which is like their WrestleMania.
Right. So he's not eligible for that. So they played it smart. Fine. Kudos to you, WWE. You did your thing.
Tip your hat. Yep. They business-wise, they know what they're doing. Telling stories,
and they do this a lot, that they bury you on the way out. And let me be one to tell Vince that doesn't work. No one when they show up at the other promotion, no one's like, lost a bunch of matches over there. What the hell are they doing? Why'd they sign this scrub? No one buys it.
Dude, it has the opposite effect. If anything, they get cheered more.
Of course. Think about Brody. Think about Matt Hardy.
Mox. When Mox made his date, when he walked through the crowd.
That's true. Mox, because Mox had a crowd. I forget, Brody and Matt did not.
Oh, can you imagine if Brody had a crowd? Because we all thought it was Matt, the leader, the exalted one.
And Matt was the same night.
They played it perfectly. Can you? Oh my God! In front of a crowd.
That place would have gone when Brody came out first. The place would have lost their lids, and then the Daily's place. I know they have a roof. No roof. It's gone when Matt Hardy shows up.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll be enjoying that soon. Hopefully, we're close to having crowds back.
We are close to having crowds back. We've got lots of cool stuff on the horizon for in the wrestling world. Obviously, we got WrestleMania, but we have next week. We have the actually no, not next week. Tomorrow, the return of Christian onto our television sets.
Oh,
wrestling.
Yeah. He's wrestling Kazarian. That's right. On AEW. That should be fun.
So we got that. I don't think we talked about it, but Sting is back in action. Like we've actually seen him do something now.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Yeah, I was impressed for a 61-year-old guy. That was amazing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's it for us for now. If we go any longer, it's going to take 9 hours to upload this to YouTube. So let's cut it off here.
All right, let's do it.
That'll be it for us for the roll up for the win. We'll be back again probably later in the week to recap things going on in wrestling. But until then,
all things wrestling.
Yes. But until then, have a good night. We'll see you next time.
See ya.